while we are waiting, like we'll understand what the today's session is about. Okay, so it will be clearly based on three topics. First, what a data analyst is, or what a data analyst does. I'll try to give you a roadmap for your data journey, how you can like solve any data set, whether it's been on Excel, if it's on Power BI, or if it's on SQL, Tableau, no matter the tool, just the skill set will remain the same. Okay, how you can use for every tool. And the last one will be what are the common mistakes we all try to like begin with, or what is the clarity we need on the tools. Okay, let's start with the most common question we all have, which is why data analyst is so much in demand in the market, or what's the need of data analysis, or what is data analysis. To understand this, it's in the question only. Okay, to understand the demand, to understand the customer behavior, we need data analysis. We all know every business have its own data. It can be of like sales, or either for customers, or for products, or for marketing, feedback. But data alone means nothing. Okay, data is growing rapidly, but if we will do nothing for the data or from the data, or if we will not get any insights from the data, that data will be of no use. So to understand for a company or a business, like why their sales are dropping, which product is the highest in the like performing the best in the market, or we can think like where the company should invest next, so we can know what changes it can make for more further growth. That's where data analysis is needed. Okay, let's understand this with the help of an example to clarify it more. Okay, let's talk about Netflix. Okay, one or another day we all must have seen Netflix series. Okay, have you ever noticed how Netflix only shows you shows or movies which are recommended or which are like liked by you? Because Netflix goes through your watch history, or like it shows or like analyzes your pattern of, or like, and then recommends you the similar show, the similar movies, or the similar genre which you are watching. Like if you're a K-drama fan, it will show you K-drama. If you're a romantic fan, it will show you romantic movies and like series. If you are into thriller, it will show you crime or suspense series and movies. So here your watch history is used by data analysts to decide what you will see next. Okay, we can even talk about another example like Amazon. We all must have bought gifts for our friends or for our family on Secret Santa. Okay, have you ever noticed on that time it were recommending products on your browsing history, or Amazon also suggests like customers also bought this with. If you are buying a candle, it will suggest you, okay, customer also bought this candle holder or this place holder with it. So this is where Amazon is like analyzing your purchasing history, your browsing behavior to recommend you products. So that here data analysis is doing what? It's playing smarter rather than playing harder. Like it's giving you recommendation based on what you are searching. So this is where data analysis comes in the picture. So it can be either Netflix, Swiggy, Amazon, or like any other company or business. It can be either small as like coffee shop or even big as Tata company. All everywhere data analysis is needed. It's working quietly behind the curtains, behind the scenes, turning our data to give us or recommend us something which we need in the market. Okay, it's it's needed for stronger career growth of that company, for the company to grow more, and to bridge the gap between the data and the customer, to make the company know what should be achieved next to achieve the business goals. If we talk next about which is skills versus tools. Okay, this topic is beginner's favorite. Like every beginner thinks of which tool should I start with. Should I start with Excel? Should I start with SQL? Should I go with Power BI? What if I don't know Python? We all think about this, huh? You know, is my voice audible? Can someone confirm in the chat box? If my voice is not audible at any moment of time, can you please comment in the chat box so I'll get to know? Okay. Thank you, Mayank. Thank you, Rishikesh. Okay. Let's start. Continue with skills versus tool. Okay. We were what like skills. Skills. If we talk about skills now, every beginner thinks of like, what should I start with? Should I start with Excel? Should I start with SQL? Should I start with Power BI? According to me, or according to my experience, now tools will change according to the market. As the market will grow, tools will grow. First of all, there are two, now there are three, then there will be more tools. They are just enablers, they are just helper hands which help you to solve the data or solve the questions faster. But what makes you solve them is skills. But if I'm talking about skills are like the analytical thinking which you think about the data, the logic behind it, the problem solving around it, and the curiosity for the data which you have. This will help you to answer those questions. Skills will make you ask the right question from the data so that you can think first, then tools can follow easily. Okay, we all must have watched Three Idiots now. Just like Rancho said in it, एक्सीलेंस के पीछे भागो, सक्सेस झक मार के पीछे आएगी. सो इन डेटा एनालिसिस ना, excellence is the tools, oh sorry, excellence is the success which we should focus on. And like excellent, if we excel our skills, if we excel about what we think and what we have to question from the data, success will come automatically, so the tools will come automatically. Okay, so basically to understand a problem we have to first think logically, then think according to the tool or which tool we should use. Next, the main topic of our today's PPT is from data to decisions. If I talk about this PPT or this pages, this is what I follow for making a dashboard or for making from raw data to decisions. Okay. I just analyze the whole dashboard in 6 easy steps: understand, prepare, analyze, visualize, explain, and grow. This is what I call the golden flow. Okay. This can be used for any tool. It doesn't matter if it's Power BI, SQL, Tableau, Excel. If you follow these 6 steps, now you will be easily able to do any dashboards from any raw data or any messy data, no matter what. Let's understand this with the help of an example. We all listen to songs, okay? So let's take an example of Spotify. I'll tell you two sides of stories, how like you can use this flow as a beginner, and what if you can use this flow if your company becomes big or if you are handling a big data. Okay, first let's think about the Spotify side of the story. For understanding, Spotify will does not just start with the data. They starts like with the question, how can we make the customers or how can we make the listeners be engaged more upon our groups. Okay, so for that they started giving podcasts, they even started giving stories and recommendation movies and all. Why? Because they knew if we will recommend this, the listeners will be engaged more with us, the user attention will increase. So if we talk about preparation, what does Spotify do? Spotify cleans the data. It declutters the data, which like where we accidentally listen to a song or we skip a song midway, or if it dislike any song, then it will try to not give us that songs or that type of songs. Okay. If you talk about analyze, once the data is ready, once Spotify has cleaned the data, collected the data, it explores the pattern according to it. Like what genre works better for this listener, what genre is this listener listening at night, what's the mood for him in the morning, when do listeners usually drop off while he's driving, what kind of playlist or what kind of songs he tries to listen. So this is where analysis helps Spotify. If we talk about the next step, which is visualize. While visualizing, you can easily know, we all must have, if you are a Spotify user, we all must have got the Spotify wrapped this year. Okay. This year they changed, like they gave us top genre, they gave us top artists, they even gave us listening hours. So by this, they give us clear charts, represent their insights in a way which is easy to understand, and they are for every other user individually. Like one is for me, one can be for your sister, one can be for your brother, and each one of them has its own. So Spotify helps us to understand what were my learning listening experience from the Spotify. Then for explaining, it not just only like analyzes the data but also gives us recommendations. Like if you're into Indian songs, it will give you this Indian playlist. It will like, if you love indie music, it will give you like, try this playlist based on your mood, try this playlist when you are in a sad mood, try this playlist when you are driving. So Spotify tries to or tends to analyze the findings into like actionable insights for better decisions and for making us be on Spotify for a more and a longer period of time. And for growing, Spotify Spotify moves from data to decision to growth. For example, after every rap, it tries to give us songs and makes us engage with them for a longer period of time. Now let's switch perspective. Let's think of like a, from a customer side. What if you are making a dashboard from Spotify? Then what you will think before touching any data, what you will think, okay, what's my customer goal? What does Spotify need me to do from this dashboard? Like to understand the problem, what does Spotify need? Like what genre people are listening to, or what mood people are listening more to the songs, or what is the thing which is making people mood off like or go off from the Spotify. If we talk about prepare, Spotify will ask us to list out the songs which people are skipping the most, which people are listening the most, which song is on the top trend. To in prepare, we can talk about the customers data this way. If we talk about analyze, now Spotify will want us to analyze the data as per customers question, like which genre was the best for him, which users were the most active, which mood keeps them most engaged long for a longer period of time. For visualize, here comes the same Spotify Wrapped, which were the peak listening hours, at what time people tend to turn on Spotify for a longer period of time. For example, if you talk about the timeline, it will be driving, or when it's a holiday season, or when it's even any festival coming now, then Spotify will give you playlist according to that festival. Like if Christmas is coming, Spotify will give you Christmas playlist. If Diwali is coming, then it will try to give you like a playlist of Indian songs and dancing songs. If there is a wedding season now, then it will recommend you songs according to that season. So that's where Spotify plays its role behind the curtains. Okay. For explanation, a dashboard alone is not enough. So Spotify will want, okay, I'll make a chart. Which artist, which songs, which genre, which is the best. So it will help Spotify to understand the customers. And for grow, this dashboard, Spotify will use how to like how can I improve more, from where, which song should I focus on, which song should I like give more attention to. So this was the like this is where you can build Spotify from the both side. Either you are making a Spotify from the customer view or from the Spotify view. This framework stays the same. So like my motive was to make you understand, like with this framework you can do wonders. Okay, you can either think from a small point of time also, or from a small part of it also, and from a bigger part of it also. So I would love to take, like if you take a screenshot of it and use it in your findings, and for the same you can tag Suhani Insights. So I would like to give a feedback like to your dashboard. I would wait for a minute for you to take a screenshot. All of them are here with me now. May I get a thumbs up or a like if the session is like, if my speed is too fast, you can let me know. Should I like decrease the speed or should I increase my voice or something is there? Thanks a lot. Now let's continue. Let's start with the first step. Okay, understand. By understand, now we are at the first and the most important step of the data. Beginners always skip this. Because of that only, if you don't understand the problem now, your our analysis will fail. To understand the problem, it can be like done in majorly four simple steps. First, to identify the object, to identify the goal which the company is like want to solve, or like what the outcome company needs from this analysis. Then we have to frame a problem, like our goal is decide. Okay, then we have to frame a problem where what's the business concerns, what are the questions they are asking from. Then next, what we have to focus in on the stakeholder. Like just we said, just like we saw the story from customer side for Spotify and from Spotify side. So the perspective change. That's how we need to understand who will use this insights. On that only our decision should be made. The outcome of this step will be we'll get a clear and focused problem statement. And if we get it now, 20% of our task is done. Next step is to prepare. According to me, if my data is prepared now, 70 to 75% of my task will be done next. Because for me, garbage in is garbage out. Just like imagine you have an Excel sheet, okay, where some data are missing. It's like some amounts are in text form. So when you analyze it, none of them will be done in sum or like any standard deviation or any numeric values will not be able to be done in the form of amount. So clearing it is much needed. So for that, it can be done in four easy steps. Okay, first is to identify our data source. I'm sorry, where our data is coming from, if it's reliable or not. Is the data coming from a relevant source where I can trust the data or not? Okay, if it's done, the next step is to clean the data. By cleaning is to like remove the errors, to remove the duplicates. Many of us also fill the forms like if there is a required value, then we just give an asterisk or we just give a dot. We all do this. So to get the clear insights, we need to delete that data so that our insights, so that our data quality improves. And then the next step is to structure the data. This data should be formatted. The data or the data label should be organized. Like the data structure should be organized. Uh, all the names should be in the caps. The amount should be in the formatted currency, and etc. And to understand the data limitations. By this, what I mean is to recognize the gap between the data. We shouldn't be biased. Like if I'm making a dashboard of Coca-Cola versus Pepsi, and if I'm little biased toward Coca-Cola, then I if that biasness shows on the dashboard, then that dashboard will be of no use. So while making the dashboard for a company, I should only be considered about the stakeholder, about the company insights which they are been waiting for, not about me or my biasness for the dashboard. So with this step, the outcome will be clean structured data, so which is ready for the analysis. Now let's talk about the third step, which is analyze. By analysis, what I mean is the analysis, first of all, I need to say this analysis is will be useless, okay, if no one is able to understand it. So your analysis should be done in a way where people understands it. It can be done in either way. You can choose like these are the six types we can or more there are more options available in market which you can choose. I have listed six of them. First is explanatory data analysis, where we explore the data distribution. If there is a trend in it, if there are outliers, then we understand the data, which helps us to understand the overall behavior of the data. The next comes is the statistical measures. By statistical measures, what I mean is the to use average, median, standard deviation, or range, or even like to summarize the data for better performance or to understand the variability of the performances. Okay. Then next is trend and pattern analysis. Here we can talk about like if there are any seasonal changes happening, if there are any recurring patterns, like what if a influencer post about my product, then that product reach will increase in the market. So what's the trend? What's the pattern behind the data? We can identify over it. Like if it's changing over time, if it's changing over seasons, if it's changing over some other reasons, we can identify that. Next is relationship analysis. By relationship analysis, what I mean is to analyze the co-relationships, like between the dependency of a independent and dependent variable. Across two variables, what's the relationship between them and how are they changing from if the dependent variable is changing, what's the change in the independent variable, and if the independent variable is changing, what's the change in dependent variable. Next is assumption validation. In this, we like if the initial assumptions align our actual data findings. Just a minute. Okay. I'm sorry for the disturbance. For assumption validation, I'll like to say that in this, we verify whether the initial assumptions align with our actual data findings, like what we thought about at the start for the data and what's our data findings. Are they aligning or not? And the last is insight and identification. In this, we highlight the key insights which is directly impacting our business growth. Okay, so next, this is my favorite slide, visualizing. Okay, here comes all the color combinations and all things which you can think of. So for visualizations, I have only like a single line. Okay, what if your manager only has 3 seconds to analyze your dashboard? Will you be okay, or will you be able to make him understand in 3 seconds? That's what a dashboard should be. Like according to me, my dashboard should answer his questions in 3 to 5 seconds. So for that, I need to choose the right visuals. Like in the right visuals, what I mean is the chart type should be perfect. They should be in best to communicate what my insights need, or like what my insight findings are. Then the dashboard structure should be there. Like I shouldn't place the charts and KPIs overall. I should place all the KPIs in a line, in all the slices in a line. So the dashboard is in a structured way where the manager can analyze or can visualize my dashboard within few seconds or within few minutes. We should focus on the key metrics. By focusing on key metrics, what I mean here is like we shouldn't place 15 to 20 KPIs on the dashboard. For a KPI, it's mean key performance indicators. Okay, so while we talk about key performance indicators, what's the motive is like to put 3 or 4 of them, with the help of which if, like other charts can be easily understood, or like what I can say is 3 of them are more than enough to understand the data, the whole data, rather than 15 or 16 of them. Okay. Then next is to maintain the consistency over the visuals. The color should be maintained, the label should be same. It shouldn't be like in one visual the font is different, in the other one the font is different. I have 3 to 4 charts on my dashboard and all of them are of different colors. Some are with the background, some are without background. Some have conditional formatting, and in some of them I haven't given conditional formatting. This should not be done. Okay, our visuals, our dashboard should be appealing so that the manager tends to look at it for a longer period of time. Okay. Next step is to like to make our dashboard clear. There should be clarity and simplicity. Just like I said now, what if your manager has only 3 seconds? So for that, avoid many charts on the dashboard. Ensure that how many visuals are there, they should be enough to interpret or like give the insights in a way where he can understand, okay, this is what the person needs to understand or needs to make me understand about the data. Okay. And the last is insight emphasis. We should also give highlights and annotations. For example, if you are using some shortcut, some abbreviations or some conditional formattings, then we should make him understand, okay, these are the formulas and this is the abbreviations I have used for the data set, so that it's easier for him to understand. Next is explain. Like this is the storytelling part. Okay. Here there is a saying. Okay, like if I'll ask you, if the app is very slow, okay, if you turn on any app and if it's taking a long, like it's taking time to turn, like to turn on, or if you are opening a YouTube video and it's lagging, will you be on the same side or will you leave that side? We all will leave that side. Okay, so that's what a dashboard will do. If your dashboard is too weak to make them understand, or if the dashboard is too like out of the data or out of the topic which we are which we are looking for, then no one will be on the page. So your dashboard should be enough to interpret the results on its own. The dashboard should be on its own explanatory. You don't need to interpret the results or interpret the whole story to the manager. For that, the result should be like clearly shown. There should be a pattern according to, like in the dashboard. You should clarify, okay, these findings are important. And for that you can even like use edit interaction. Like for example, we can use in Power BI edit interactions, or in Tableau we can use LODs, where we can fix some of the visuals which can be easily used for comparison for yearly analysis or for monthly analysis. Just like that, we don't need to go back again and again. So our dashboard should be in a way where it can understand or it can explain on its own. It should be given provide, like it should provide us business contacts. It should be based on the goals and the real world impact, and it should build a story according, or it should be a roadmap where individuals can connect from the data, and the decisions can be much easier to be made. Now, if we talk about this slide, now this slide is not related to dashboard, to be honest. This is related to you, your skills. Just like I said, I have said this in my 2025 app also. Consistency is more important than intensity. Okay, it matters more if you show up every day. It doesn't matter on how much intensively you are showing up. If you learn a thing, if you even learn a sentence every day, or even learn a query in SQL every day, na, in a month or two, I'm 100% sure you will be able to solve some things rather than like learning number of queries in the same day in SQL and not understanding anything. So, what my goal for 2026 is to practice, to upscale myself daily. What I do, or like what I like to do, is to I make the same dashboard after some time. If I learn some new things, I make the dashboard again. Then I review my own work. I engage with the data communities. There are many communities, just like data farm communities, data farm Mumbai communities there, where you can post your data sets. You can post your dashboards and you can engage with the industry updates, and you can learn from others, and we can even build a place where we all can connect through it. Okay, and if we talk about showcase, we all should if we start posting about it daily now, it will make you, or it will motivate you to make a dashboard daily. There was a point where I was making a dashboard daily. It was pushing me to make it every day. It was a task. Okay, I need to clean the data, I need to analyze it, I need to make the patterns, visualize it, and then post it. So if I post it, I was doing it daily. So I have learned this in 2025. If you post it on any app, it can be LinkedIn, it can be either WhatsApp, or even to yourself. Okay, you will be more consistent to it, because the world is seeing what you are doing every day. So you tend to not miss any day. You can either fall start a series of your own, any series where you every day learn a query for SQL, for Excel, for Power BI. For Power BI, you can start every day learning a chart. There are n number of custom visuals, only not the visuals which are present in the Power BI dashboard. Okay, so we can start learning every one chart at a time. It will help us upscale ourselves. It will help us refine our work. Okay, and always try to plan your day. What I try to do is I plan my day I plan my whole week every Saturday. Okay, you can also start planning your day. It will help you set your career goals, or what tools or what things you need to focus on. Okay, this is the most important slide of which you all were waiting for. Before this, if any questions are there, I would like to solve them. You can say the questions in the comment box, or even raise your hands. Are there any questions? Okay, I'll start. Okay. Hi, Suhani, where do you get the data from practice? Okay. Hello, Navneet. I usually get the data from Kaggle, or if I am working on any other data set rather than which is on Kaggle, I tend to take that data set from taking the subscription through it. Okay. Okay. You're welcome. Okay, I'll solve the questions which were in the form. There were many questions. Okay, so honestly solving them at one by one will take a lot of time. So I've compiled it, all of them, in a way where you can understand all the data. All of them were only dependent, how do I start the data analysis, how do I stand out, or how do I actually get a job. So instead of answering them each individually, I have addressed them in a way where you can understand what the questions were. And if still your questions were not answered, you can DM me, at the end of the live session, or like I'll even try to post this live on my YouTube channel. There you can comment and I'll try to solve your doubts. Okay. So the most important or the most repeated question was how to start the data analysis career. Okay. If you are wondering now how I started, I began with SQL, then Excel, then I moved to Power BI. It doesn't mean if I'm posting only about Power BI dashboard, I don't know SQL and Excel. I have done it, but I tend or I like understood Power BI in a more clear way. That's why I was posting dashboards more about Power BI. So clearly, if you want to start a data analysis like career, you can start with SQL, then go with Excel, and then move to Power BI. For projects and data cleaning, just like I said, I start with Kaggle or open data sets because they helps us to understand the real world problems. They gives you very messy data. Okay, so while cleaning them, it will help you to understand. Okay, these are the things which we need to do, or this is the thinking which matters while cleaning the data. For Power BI dashboards, for Power BI dashboards, for giving it a wow factor, this was a question, the second most repeated question, how I give the Power BI dashboard this wow factor. First, I tend to go with the colors from the company, okay? I follow that color scale. Then I like what I do is like to use charts or like insights which are not being done by anyone, okay? Being generic in this world is of no use. So be something different, try something different that will give your dashboards a wow factor. Then next was like how to crack the interviews or like any other tools which we should know before going to interviews. For me, just like I said, your skills must be refined. Okay, you must know how to solve that problem. Tools, you can do the same thing with any tool. Either it can be SQL, Excel, Power BI, Tableau, or even many other tools are there. Okay, Python. But what matters is what to ask the question, like what question should I ask from the data, then only I'll be able to solve it with the tool. So tools matters, yes I know, but skills matters the most. So you must have the skill. Okay, what questions should I ask, what data set should I work on, or like what insights I need to find from this data. Then next was how to increase the LinkedIn visibility and reach. Like be consistent on LinkedIn. Post daily. It can be anything. It doesn't needs to be if like wa- every dashboard shouldn't be a wow factor. Okay, post daily. Then you'll get to know. Okay, this is the sector you can work on more. This is the things you should need to upscale yourself on, or these are the things which I need to refine or review my work more, and be connected to many communities. There are many communities already available in LinkedIn. Okay, try to connect through them. And actually job portals give less jobs rather than like getting a job through referrals. Okay, so be connected to people. Your connection or your network should be much more stronger. I think I've solved every questions of like which were in the live or in the form. If some of them are left, you can drop in the comment box, then I'll try to solve the questions. Okay, now let's uh, uh, continue the slide. The mistakes, if we talk about mistakes now, what's the first mistake we all as a beginner do is like jump to Python at the start of the data. Okay, and as a teacher, even I, when I started my career in data analysis, the first tool I learned was Python. And at that moment I was knowing, okay, what will I do? I don't know coding, I don't know data science, I have not taken data science. What will I think? Like I don't know anything about Python background, what will I do? So rather than starting from Python, start from a tool which you know better, like Excel. We all have worked on Excel in 7th or 8th standard. We all must have made a table. Okay, so start from something where you can start, like where you can get familiar with. Then with the flow you'll understand many things. Next is to not just watch the tutorials but do practice. Okay, we all like start a tutorial for data analysis. We all watch every day 15 videos for roadmap, for like how to solve a dashboard, how to make this HR dashboard, how to make this Spotify dashboard, but we never make it in real life. This is where we all lack. And what's more important is like we make the same dashboard which they are making. Why not we try something different? In LinkedIn, if you search Spotify dashboard, every one of them has made the same dashboard. Then where is your creativity? Why will someone hire you rather than hiring him? He will hire the person who have made the YouTube video now. So be like a little different. give something different to the LinkedIn, give something different to the recruiter, so that he gets like charmed by you. He gets to know, okay, he this person has something. This person, I need it in my company. This person will make my company go wonders. Next is collecting certificate instead of skills. We sometimes like take classes just for certificates. Okay, I'll enroll in this class, I'll enroll in this class, I'll take 6 classes in a day, and I'll get 6 certificates at the end of the month. But what we are learning? Nothing. Because and in the same day we are learning SQL also, we are learning Power BI, we are learning Excel. Our brain is like, okay, a small thing, okay, we cannot understand, we cannot take up everything in a day. It takes time. So instead of collecting certificates, take a skill a day or a month, give your skill a time. If you excel a skill now, it's much more like approachable, or what can I say, it's much more, I'm not getting the word, okay, it's much more like needed in the market, or like what can I say, the recruiters will like your excelled skill more than your more certificates. Okay, then next, as I said, we try to learn everything at once, we try to do 6 skills in a day, which is wrong. Okay, and the most important, which is, we compare our journey with others, we compare our journey with a person who has started way back us from us, or a person who is starting tomorrow. It depends on the person, it depends on you, how you make your journey, or how you make it, if you make it worth it, or if you are like just failing it, it's on you. And so please try to be your own self, try to compare it with your own, like what you were in 2024, what you are in 2025, what you can be in 2027, what you can achieve. So if you think about that way now, it will be much more easier and much more like, you'll be much more happier while doing this. Okay, you'll be happy, okay, I'm much more uh, just a minute, I'm much like, I'm more upgraded from my 2025 version. I have known much more. I know many skills which I knew in 2024, which I knew in 2025. Okay, I know this skill again. I know this new skill. So this will help you make your journey much more worthy. Okay. Next. Okay, Rishikesh, I'm a fresher and have expert knowledge on the tools, but I'm intermediate and analytical skills. Okay, just as I said, you end up taking a data analyst role depends on you, how you portray yourself, how you show yourself to the recruiters. It's based on, totally based on you. So make yourself a different in the market, which will help the recruiters to identify you. Okay. Next slide. Okay. Our one last thing is there. I'll post this live on my YouTube channel, and also I'll post a recommendation or like a rating form, which you like. I'll like, if you all will fill the form, then I'll know, okay, what are the changes I need to make for my next session, like what are the things you liked in my session. And if you are okay with me posting your ratings or your feedback to the LinkedIn, then you can know that in the form. For our next session, we the topics will be chart and the types. In that we'll talk about what are the charts we should focus on, or what are the data set like available, or the data parameters available, then which chart or which data type or which chart type we should follow, because choosing the right chart makes or breaks the data. This is my YouTube handle, and this is my email, where you can solve DM me your doubts or any questions you have to me. And this PPT will also be shared on this YouTube link. Okay, so stay tuned for that. Thank you. If there are any more questions, like I'm okay to solve, we have some time. You can raise your hand, then I'll like, you can unmute yourself also. How to create a project after learning a particular tool.